Are you ready for a show that's cool in more ways than one?
Megan, you know I'm always ready to be cool.
Yes. Today on PowerHouse, we'll talk about all the cool benefits of planting a tree.
We'll tune up your air conditioner so everyone in your home can stay cool.
And we'll look at exterior lighting and shading. Possibilities with some information about light options and pergolas.
It's all cool, just like me.
Like us. Join us for this week's PowerHouse. Today, we're not only going to help the environment, but we're going to help this home grow a source of energy efficiency for years to come.
That's right, Megan. In addition to being beautiful, the right tree in the right place can provide a windbreak in the wintertime to help conserve heating energy, and in the summer provide shade to help with the cooling. Here to tell us about selecting the right tree and planning for its placement is Nick McGrath from Trees Forever. Welcome, Nick.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Nick, tell us about some of the benefits of having healthy trees in our neighborhoods.
First off, the trees provide a tremendous amount of beauty. It makes our streets, our communities more inviting with the different colors and shapes and textures and sizes. And as it relates to the home, this deciduous tree is going to provide much needed shade on a hot summer day.
Now, Nick, what kind of tree is this?
This is American linden.
All right, and you helped us select not only the tree, but the location as well. But for homeowners watching, what considerations should they keep in mind in making those decisions?
So when we think about a tree, if this linden gets to be 80 foot tall and 30 foot wide, it has plenty of room out here to do so. Other trees may be a little more constricted. It has plenty of water and some good soil to live in. It has all the sunlight it needs. And so if you can answer those couple of questions, the sunlight, the moisture, the space, you're going to get a pretty good list of trees that are going to do really well in your space.
Nick, what tools do we need and what happens next?
First off, we're going to prep the tree before we dig the hole. So I brought a few tools. These are things you probably have around your house. I have a knife, a pair of pruners, a handsaw or a drywall saw will work fine. And this is my favorite tool. It's a combination spade cultivator that we'll use here as we prep. Now, before we do anything further than this, we need to call 811 to get the utilities marked. This is a free service. They come out and make sure that everything that exists in your property that they know of is marked so we don't hit anything.
Okay, so what do we do now to prep the tree prior to digging to ensure that it has a really good, healthy start?
Planting depth is the #1 thing that we can do to set up our tree for success. So, as I was doing when you came over, I'm trying to find the first root that comes out of the tree here. So, we're gonna go ahead and take it out of the pot. And if you notice the trees that are around that have grown to old age, they all have a flare at the base. And this is made by the top root, and so that's what we want to find. Right now, it looks a little bit like a telephone pole coming out of the dirt, and we want to find that flare. So I'm going to gently start shaving away, and don't be afraid to be fairly aggressive at this stage. As long as you don't cut into that trunk, you're not going to hurt it. And what I'm looking for as I'm doing this is a root about the size of my pinky finger. You can start to see we've hit a root. It's fairly substantial, so I do think we're there.
Okay.
Now, the next step in prepping our tree is going to be to address all of these. These aren't going to untangle themselves, so just like we did on the top, we're going to go ahead and cut them off. And I'm going to go in about 1 inch. And again, don't be afraid to be aggressive. What we're trying to do is eliminate any roots that are going around in a circle. Because again, those aren't going to untangle. And then over time, as they get thicker and thicker, you run the risk of those girdling out your tree. And we'll take a look at the bottom. And again, we kind of see this plate of roots. So I'm not going to go as deep, but I do want to take them off.
So Nick, we're ready to put shovels into the dirt. How deep do we need to go?
We want it as deep as that root flare that we just found. So okay. I would take my shovel head and check to see about how deep we need to go based on the root, and I'm going to say it's the entire shovel.
Okay.
So we're going to want to be 2 to 3 times the width of the tree, of the root ball here. Okay. Let's give that a go. ahead and lay the shovel across. That looks awesome.
That looks perfect.
Now the tree is in the hole. The next really important thing is to make sure that it's straight up and down. How are we looking? It needs to come.
A little this way?
Yep, just a hair.
We're good?
We're good. So we're gonna start to backfill. And we wanna keep the sod out, but otherwise we're gonna put the same stuff that came out of the hole back into the hole. The trees will adjust to whatever you give them. It should be just about there. Now with the sod, I'm gonna go ahead and flip it upside down and make a little berm around the outside of the tree here, right around the outside of the hole. And that'll just help collect any rainwater. It'll stop the grass from trying to regrow, and we'll cover it up in mulch anyway. So you won't be able to see it. This is very typical of lindens and a lot of trees. They'll get these suckers that grow up at the base. They're not necessarily harmful for the tree. Again, the tree is just trying to produce leaves to get food, but a lot of homeowners would prefer them to not be there, so we're just gonna come in and prune them off.
So Nick, what about a recommendation then on mulch?
A lot of good mulches out there that you can buy. This came from the city. A lot of cities will have free mulch piles.
Any concern about too much mulch, or what's your recommendation?
Never too much mulch. We just don't want it up against the trunk. Very similar to how we did the dirt here.
Okay.
And if you can aim for 3 to 4 inches, I think that is fabulous. And as this breaks down over time, it's just going to continue to improve the soil underneath. And we'll just make a little donut here.
So now let's talk about watering, Nick. How much, how often, all of that.
This is the most important thing you can do after planting your tree. I like to think of it in twos. The first 2 weeks are really important, so I would do 10 gallons on a tree this size every other day for 2 weeks. And then after that, I would give it 10 gallons a week for 2 years.
Now here's a question. We see these at the home store.
This is fabulous, and it's great for larger trees like this, because I think this one probably holds about 30 gallons. Now, I wouldn't do 30 gallons all at once, but it makes it really easy to fill it halfway full and then let it drain, and it should drain out over 6 to 8 hours.
Well, Nick, this is a great addition to this yard. Thanks for making it happen.
Oh, thank you. It's a beautiful day to plant a tree.
It is. And if you'd like more information about saving energy through landscaping your yard, visit our website at powerhousetv.com. It's time to make sure we can keep everyone cool during the hot weather, and that calls for an air conditioning tune-up. Here to make sure we're ready to go is Rob Wenzel from Novak Heating and Cooling. Rob, thanks for joining us today. Why is a maintenance checkup so important?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Pete. So seasonally, it's definitely a good idea to go through your cooling system, your outside condenser and the inside components to that system. You definitely want to make sure things are clean and operating efficiently.
Is there a better time of the year to have this routine maintenance?
Typically any time during the summer months, it's good to have somebody come out and have a professional go through the system and make sure it's working properly for you.
Are there things that you're looking for when you come out?
Yeah, so there's several things. We want to make sure that the system's clean and not dirty. The fins and coils are clean and unobstructed. You want to make sure there's no landscaping or things like that around the unit. Typically about a foot around it is generally a good practice to keep it clean. That way the system's going to breathe properly for you and cool the system, cool your home right.
How about the homeowner spraying it down with a hose early in the spring?
You can definitely use a very low pressure. When our technicians come out, we do a little more pressure with it. We also have a cleaner that we can put in there to get them really good and clean. If you want to do that, you can. Just be very careful to use a low pressure setting.
One of the things in a checkup, you're making sure the systems function efficiently, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So we're going to hook our gauges to that system. We're going to make sure that everything is, the pressures are right, the temperature readings are right, that it's properly charged, and then also the system is functioning properly. There's no internal components that are going bad on you.
Are there things that you recommend homeowners do during the season to look out for their AC?
Yeah, certainly check your filters, make sure they're clean and flowing properly. A clean filter is going to help that air move through your home more efficiently.
We often talk about that during the heating season, but the filter during the AC season as well.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, in the summertime, your system still uses your ductwork, and that air is going to flow through your home, and so that filter is a vital component.
How about the cost for a routine maintenance checkup?
You know, it does vary a little bit. You know, you can always give us a call for our latest pricing. Typically an air conditioning tune-up, you might be around the $150 range. Sometimes there's a bundle package where you can do, you know, your air conditioner and a furnace tune-up as well. That could be around the $200 to $250 range.
That expense can save us dollars in the long run, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to catch problems before they happen, catch something before you have a major failure, and typically that happens on the hottest day of the year at 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah, been there. Rob, thank you for, again, giving us some really good ideas and your perspective and expertise on our AC checkup. And if you'd like more cooling considerations for your PowerHouse, visit PowerHouseTV.com and AlliantEnergy.com.
Keeping with our cool theme, exterior lighting can make your home look very cool, as well as providing safety and security benefits.
We want to share some information to help you make good choices when it comes to energy use, functionality, and efficiency of typical outdoor lighting.
We're going to talk about several kinds of exterior lighting: path lighting, security lighting, standard exterior decor fixtures, and decorative or entertainment lighting.
Pathway lighting serves a couple of purposes. It makes the approach to your home look attractive and safer by illuminating the walk after dark. There are hundreds of styles of fixtures that you can match to your home's design or your personal preference. Solar-powered lights are extremely popular for this function, and many styles are fun and attractive. This is an example of a solar-powered light. Costs can vary widely, but they're readily available, easy to install, low maintenance, and energy cost-free to use. You might find that your walkway is too shaded to support solar-powered fixtures. In that case, there are hardwired options available for this purpose as well. Costs will vary based on style, features, and the number of fixtures needed. Wired options involve a little more work or cost if professionally done to install, but may work best for your space. There is a small energy cost to operate them, but you can hook them up to a switch, a timer, or a sensor to minimize operating costs. We recommend keeping functionality at the forefront and creating a pathway that's bright and safe.
Security lighting is an important exterior detail that can provide peace of mind to you and your family. A variety of styles and options are available depending on the size of the area you want to illuminate and how you want the light to function. Simple fixtures may just include a couple of bright lights and a motion-activated sensor to turn them on, like this one. Some packages are available with a combination of lights and cameras to increase your ability to see what's happening in various areas of your property. A high-quality motion sensor spotlight can cost between $100 to $200 per fixture. If you need assistance with installation from a hired handy person, your expected cost may run $200 to $500. When evaluating security fixtures, factor in its price, motion detection range, power source, whether it's hardwired, battery, or solar, like these, its brightness, usually measured in lumens, and its weatherproof rating for cold, hot, or wet conditions. Models with cameras are significantly more expensive and may perform best with a professional installation.
Exterior decor fixtures are pretty standard on most homes. At minimum, you're likely to have a porch light or back door light, and your garage may feature additional fixtures. To make the most of these lighting opportunities while still keeping an eye on energy use, consider upgrading the bulbs to an LED in the appropriate wattage, shape, and size for your fixtures. These bulbs are typically a bit brighter than an incandescent bulb and less expensive to operate. You can save around $80 per year. These LED bulbs are dusk to dawn. And these LED bug bulbs are invisible to insects, so you won't have annoying bugs flying around your lights. If you're looking to change up your exterior house light fixtures, you might consider switching to a solar-powered option to take advantage of additional energy savings. Cost per fixture can vary pretty widely, so research styles and options to find the deal that best matches your budget and decor.
Decorative lighting on a deck or patio helps to create a festive mood while also supplying necessary illumination for your guests. String lights, like these, are a very popular option to add visual interest and functionality to your outdoor lighting scheme. Newer options are typically LED-based, and they may even have a color control or color-changing option that you can run with a remote, an app on your phone, or even through your home's digital assistant. Whatever you choose, make sure that that lighting is rated for outdoor use. Costs per strand can vary depending on features, the style, and the overall length of the light string. So prices can range from less than $20 per strand to well over $100 per strand. Additional safety lighting can also be added to steps or edges of decks and patios. You can see this one is solar powered, and this would just go right on the side of your step. But there are also battery-powered options available in multi-packs ranging from $30 to over $100.
It's great to have so many energy-friendly options for decoration and security.
Now all you have to do is decide how to light up your PowerHouse. Enjoying our outdoor spaces in the summer sometimes just comes down to being able to stay cool while we're doing it. Patios and decks are great, but sometimes the full force of the sun can make them hot and uncomfortable. That's when we have to get creative. Here to talk to us about a couple of creative options for shading your outdoor space is Dave Wagaman from Hometown Restyling. Thanks for being with us today, Dave. What is the most common request that you get from homeowners when it comes to helping them solve their problems in their outdoor spaces?
The two most common questions are, how can we make our space lower maintenance so we don't have to spend our time painting or staining on our weekends? And then how do we extend the usage? How can we be out there more of the year?
All right, well, I want to talk about something in particular today. As you'll see behind us, there is a beautiful pergola there. Can you explain to us just what a pergola is and why it's such a great option?
Yeah, a pergola is a partial shade structure that will allow you to be out in the space free from the heat, free from the UV rays. And it's generally a few posts, a beam, some rafters, some crescents that help give you this aesthetics and this beautiful space that just helps keep you cool.
Well, this one is absolutely gorgeous, and I imagine there are lots of different design types out there. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the pergola we have here is a fixed pergola. It's attached to the house, which is again great because it just does what it needs to do. It's going to give you the aesthetics and that shade. But this pergola we have in front of us sample is going to show the operable pergola, which is going to give you the best of both worlds, the aesthetics and shade, but also a built-in motor that's driven with a steel shaft and operates these crescents. At any point you can start or stop, but it does fold down to give you complete coverage, and it has a built-in guttering system that helps shed the water to the edge of the deck.
Great. So let's say you're out having a family picnic outside and it starts raining. It's automated, right? You don't have to crank anything. It's all motorized.
It's all motorized. With a click of a button, you'll be able to start and stop this when and where you want.
Okay. Or if the sun shifts, you need a little more shade. That's a great option. Now, it feels very sturdy too. Let's talk about materials. What do you commonly make a pergola out of?
So there's a lot of different options, and in all reality, traditionally, pergolas were manufactured or constructed out of wood, and wood gives you a lot of customization, and it has a lot of strength, but that's still gonna come with a lot of maintenance, painting, staining, and ultimately will deteriorate and need to be replaced. So although wood is a fine option, there's also aluminum options, and this aluminum specifically is gonna be a very thin aluminum, which doesn't have nearly as much structure, going to be much more prone to denting, dinging, just not looking great long term. And then what we opt for is a much heavier duty structural aluminum that is finished with an electrostatic paint. So it's going to be maintenance free. If anything, you might need to hose it down once a year.
Yeah, that's much more substantial, and it's got a glossy, pretty finish.
Yes, they look beautiful.
So what are the other benefits of having a pergola?
Yeah, so some of the big benefits, like we talked about already, is we're stopping the UV rays from coming in, and not only getting you, which is gonna, keep you protected from the sun, but your furniture, and you don't want to have the furniture fading out over time. You're gonna have the benefit of shading a window potentially and stopping some of that sun coming into the house, heating the house up, and creating glares inside the home. Lastly, again, back to that operable pergola, you have the ability to close down and protect yourself from a rain. You stay dry.
Right, and as far as comfort too, you still feel like you're outside. It's not like you're under an awning, or a canopy.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, you're going to define that space and feel some of the benefits of being shaded, but yet be able to enjoy the outdoors, which everybody's looking for.
Now, speaking of space, are there certain spaces that are better suited for a pergola than others?
Absolutely. We can generally do something at any space, but we really want to put our eyes on a project and be able to kind of give the customer some options of what we can and can't do. Again, this pergola specifically is an attached pergola that's fixed. We can go to a detached pergola. It gives us a lot of flexibility of where we place it on a deck or even off of a deck in the yard. We see them outside in other either fire pit areas, dining areas, if they've got a picnic table, if you've got the benefit of a pond or some great viewing area, you've got this space that you can go to.
Yeah, that would be great. So I'm sure that you piqued the interest of some of our viewers here. Let's talk a little bit about the process that you go through with customers in planning a pergola.
Sure, absolutely. We have generally a pretty good turnaround from the time frames a customer contacts us. We'll generally want to come out within the next week or so to go through the options, and really a consultation, which we do for free, will generally take somewhere around 60 minutes. Obviously, it's going to depend on all the questions and how detailed the project gets. But then once we're ready to place an order, at that time we can project out that it's going to take variable time based on the availability of material, availability of work crews. But it's generally 5 to 6 months by the time we can get to a project.
Okay, so you can't order it today and expect it next week.
Very true.
Basically. Great, but it's a custom project and you want to be sure to do it right.
Yes, a lot of details can go into these projects and we try to make it as simple as possible.
Can you also give us an idea of the expense of this project? Is there a cost range you can give us? I'm sure they're all different.
Yeah, there's a lot of options like we talked about, and all those options, and then the biggest factor is the scope and size of the project, which will determine the cost of a project like this. We can see these projects be as affordable as a few $1,000s up to tens of thousands of dollars.
Okay, great. Thanks so much for joining us. It is always a great idea to enhance our living spaces.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Sometimes it's good to throw a little shade, especially when it benefits your PowerHouse.
We hope you enjoyed this edition of PowerHouse.
We invested in energy savings by planting a shade tree.
We gave our air conditioner some much needed love and attention.
We explored exterior lighting that's beautiful, practical, and efficient.
And we introduced you to products to help make your outdoor spaces more comfortable.
Visit PowerHouseTV.com for more energy-saving ideas and products. And remember, it's always cool when you improve your PowerHouse.